Hi, this is Mike Brown here with another Tech Talk, talking about educator pages on the Seaside School District website. Now, today's Tech Talk is about trying to do two things. One is about actually updating your pages, and the other part is about thinking about the actual purpose of those pages and what are you going to do with them, and how might you balance that use of your school website with also things like Google Classroom and Google Docs. So as we kind of move through this, be thinking about that in the back of your mind, and we'll see where it all goes. So welcome to this talk, and remember all the usual things about a tech talk. When you're here in person, we always have snacks, and we always work well together and learn a few things. So today we're going to learn about and refresh our skills on how to access and edit the teacher pages on the school website at www.seaside.k12.or.us, and how to also use an online graphics program to resize images for those web pages or for other projects that you might have. So as we think about that, I have a number of teachers who always come to me and they're always like, this website's not working, I can't put my pictures in there. And part of that is just because hey, the cameras that you use now, or your cell phones, they take really big pictures. And so that's one of our missions today, is to learn how can I easily change the size of those pictures. Now, as far as moving on with this presentation, let's look at this part. 10 reasons for having a teacher classroom website. It's an easy way to meet some of the needs of your students, especially people who have like IEPs and 504s. Parents and students will be able to find materials and information on your website. And you're creating an archive of your class, complete with the exact materials you've used. It's a teaching website. It keeps you organized and on track. And that might be the way that you want to use this, or maybe you want to use it as a gateway to something like Google Classroom. And it's getting easy. So the more you do this, the easier it gets. And the more materials you'll build up. And that'll be really a helpful thing. It'll save you some time in the long run. And students will have that answer of like, what did I miss? Well, did you check the website? It's posted right there. The materials are there, that kind of thing. And if you do have any helicopter parents, it gives them a place to land and be able to find those materials so that they can kind of keep their student on track without having to continually contact you. And your contributions do go farther than you think. People will actually be grateful that there's materials available that they'll be able to tune into. The parents and the students are becoming much more digital oriented, and they'll be able to look and see, what's out there. And so it's okay to show off. You're a great teacher. You want to have a great organization, great materials, and it's okay to have all that there so that people can find it. And it's kind of a two-way street with your students and your parents, being able to communicate back and forth. And it's your gateway to engaging students, not only during school hours, but also off time on their time. So one of the things that I learned, and it took me a little while to get this, so I'm going to admit that, is every teacher is able to log in on their school's page on the Staff Only tab. So if you look, and you'll see that on your school's page, there's a Staff Only tab. That's where you log in to get to the website. And when you do, you're going to use your email address, and the password could be different than your regular school password. It's whatever you were assigned there. And so if you don't remember what that is, or maybe it's different than your regular password, you might click on the Forgot Password button so that the site will mail it to you, and it'll email it to you. Once you're in, and if you're on the very first page of the website, you're not going to be in there. It logs you in, but it doesn't let you in. So get to your school's page and get in. And when you're there, you're going to see this website administration area. Your name, page settings, general info, education, experience. Those are like little parts of a page, except for page settings. That will let you know which one of these little lines are you going to be able to see on your website. So if you don't want to see one of them, you can check that off and make it so it doesn't show up. And this is that page settings page, and you can see the status is on there, and anything with a check mark is going to appear in the website. Anything without a check mark is not going to appear in the website. So if you don't want a page that says summer reading list, then don't put it. And you can also change that sort of custom name. So if you want it to say, something besides links, then you can change that. And it'll also say which one's the start page. And mine is set to about the teacher. And here's my about the teacher page. And it's got my name, it's got my position area. And on the right side is a scrolling list of classes that are taught at the high school. And then I'm able to choose one, hit the update button, it adds it to my list. And I'll demonstrate that in our actual live session. And you can put a photograph in there, phone numbers for the school so people can contact you. And I do get emails from people through the website, so that's possibly a good thing to just leave going so that people can contact you. There's a check button there, so if you don't want to get emails through the website, you can turn that off. But it's actually helpful. People generally have good questions. And as you walk down those tabs, you're going to be able to add information to pages. In this case, this is the forms page, and I put my course syllabi on here. And so you add a form, and not like my first form was Advanced Computer Science, and then I actually uploaded a PDF of my syllabus for that class, so that part's been there. And for the most part, I haven't had to change those for a while, so then they're just pretty much there once they're there. It's pretty helpful. I can update. If I want to delete something, I can delete it and then be able to go from there. So what I want you to do is think about what you want the site to be about. Is it my main public presence in connection with parents? Am I using it for class and project work, or announcements for things that are happening, field trip forms, those kinds of things? Will it complement Google Classroom and Docs? Will it be one or the other or both? The thing about the website, it's always going to be there, and it's probably a good thing to have some good solid information there so that parents will be able to kind of get a feel for what happens in your classroom. And how often do I need or want to update the site? And that's always a problem with websites. How often will it be updated? Will the information be current? Is there any information there at all? Those kinds of things. And developing habits, like doing a little every day or doing a little every week. And before you know it, you'll have a lot. You'll have a lot of things in there, or a lot of things in Classroom. And then that library of things is no longer in your file cabinet, but it's available for students, and it doesn't take that much to put it back into play. And I just have some teachers pages that I pulled up, and I looked around. Some teachers have nothing, and others have quite a bit. And so these were some teachers who did have a lot of information, and I wanted to just share that and acknowledge that. That's pretty awesome. And it's really helpful for families to be able to look and see, like, what's going on? What is this class going to be about? Now, as far as the photo editing piece for the website, I'm going to finish this piece off, and then I'll jump into the actual school website really quickly and see where that goes. Modern cameras take really big photos, big as in megapixels, big as in file size. Oftentimes you don't need a photo that covers the whole page, so how do I make it smaller? Gee, if I had like Photoshop or something, that would be helpful, but then that might be too complex, or I have to get it and install it. And same with OrphanView is free, but again, I have to install it and all that kind of stuff. So maybe there's a better option on the web. And so I've had some teachers who say, I'm trying to put a photo into Kahoot, but Kahoot has like a 1 meg file limit, and if I've got a 5 meg image, it's just not going to fit. So there are lots of online web browser photo editing options. And so the big thing is to find something that works for you. And I found one I was going to share with you. So this is a program called Pixlr, and it comes from Autodesk. And they have two versions of this online. One is the editor version, which looks a lot more like Photoshop and is a lot more complicated. And then there's the Pixlr Express. And mostly I'm going to show you the Express version because really you're just trying to do like one thing, make your photos smaller. So if you just launch pixlr.com, click on web apps, Pixlr Express, then you're going to get something that looks like this. Browse, or open a URL, or turn on your webcam, or build a collage. So if you just browse, you'll get an image, open it up, resize it, save it, download it back to your computer, and then you'll be able to use it. So I pulled in this Star Wars picture. This is into the Pixlr Express. You can see at the bottom there's adjustment, effect, overlay, borders, stickers, and type. So there's a bunch of cool little things in here, especially if you were working with some elementary students. You could add text effects and things like that. But adjustments is where we need to go so I can change the file size. So I clicked on adjustments. I see a whole bunch of different things, but I want to go to resize. And if you think that a rule of thumb that I go by is that 640 by 480 used to be, the size of a screen back in those 14 and 15-inch monitor days, but 1072 by 768 is kind of the whole page now in 17-inch and slightly larger monitors. So 320 by 240 or slightly smaller might be a reasonable number to choose. And I use those numbers just because it keeps the aspect ratio of the image correct so that they still look okay. So when you click on resize, you can see that this image is 4000 by 2250. That's really huge. That's like 30 some inches by 30 some inches. It's really big. So I'm going to change it to something a lot smaller, like 320 by 240. And when you do that, you hit apply. It makes it smaller. Maybe the image gets smaller on your screen, but don't worry about that because it was like really big. You can kind of zoom in on it and still see that the picture looks the same. So homework for this week, and I'm going to jump back into the site really quick because I just have a couple minutes left on this video. So update your site this week. Think about how you want to use your pages in the future. Add some new images. Use Pixlr to adjust their size. Maybe try it on your mobile device. Email me about how it turned out. And thanks for doing a great job with this. And I'm going to bail out of this really quick and jump into the website. I'm on the school district website. Don't log in here. I'm going to go to my school though. I'm going to click on my staff only tab and put my email in. And alright, so I'm logged in. And when you get there, you're going to see this site, and then you're going to choose, when you're logged in at your school, you're going to see this thing, choose an area over here. And I'm going to, for myself, I've got a teacher section and a club section, and if you need some help with that, Leslie Garvin over at the district office can help set up your club section if you need something like that. But in my teacher section, here's that page settings page, so I could click on page settings. I could change all this stuff and see what I'm going to actually have that's live. I could click on general info, add things there, and if I'd like delete advanced computer science, I could go back here and add it. There's advanced computer science, so I click on that and then I just hit update. Hey, now it's back. If I go down to about education, so this shows my education piece, and there's all these tools in here. If I need to add a picture or something like that, I can do that. And experience is on here. All these will add to the pages so that it looks like you have a big page, but they're just sections. Go to bio. There's a little piece in here that you can put in. And remember, some of these aren't set up in my page settings to be live, so you'd want to remember which ones are which. Links, I had a links page, but I deleted all those because those links are not going to be accurate in the coming weeks. Calendar, if you have presentations that you want to share with students, you can put it all there. Syllabi page has the syllabi. Again, I add a form, that's this category, and then I actually upload one of these forms to it, or one of these PDFs that I've made. And if you're in Word, you can just save your syllabus or whatever as a PDF and then upload it. And the same with any of these other lists. If you have a supply list for your class, that kind of thing, then you're set to go. And if you're in the actual live class, we'll talk a little bit more about each section, but really that's the way it works. And then once you get a handle on this, it'll seem really easy and you'll be set to go. So that's it for us. And remember, think about what you're going to do, update your website, and enjoy working with it.